Hello, everybody. It's Walt Blackman and my boy.
Why'd you have to go get all racist on me, man?
Did I say
my
boy?
boy?
Did I say boy?
Dang, man, you
know
sound
why?
like Biden.
You want to know why? Because if you ain't caramel, am I caramel?
Now you, you is mocha.
Oh, if you ain't mocha, if you don't vote for mocha, you ain't really mocha. Is that what it is?
If you ain't mocha, you ain't nothing but a joker.
I'm Walt Blackman. This is Dave Marshall. We're here for the America First Brother episode. We're going to be talking about some great things today. Dave is going to be leading the way in a lot of this because we're both advocates of this, and I'm going to let Dave go ahead and start it. But however, this is a serious subject, and welcome to the America First Brothers.
Well, the subject this morning that we're going to be talking about is pro-life. This past week, Representative Walt Blackman and I, we had the opportunity to visit two events a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
And two pro-life events. One where Candace Owens was a guest speaker, and then the coalition, Arizona Coalition of Pro-Life, and down in Phoenix area. And it was very informative, very good. A lot of people involved, even a lot of congressmen and were in attendance too. The pro-life agenda is a big movement right now, but more so we're seeing a lot of abortionists coming out of the closets, especially within the administration and in the state houses. They're pushing that your tax dollars, our tax dollars, go to fund abortions. We have states across this country are talking about abortions even upon birth. It's getting ridiculous right now. I know the Lord says that the children are a heritage to him. And he said, the least that you do unto these, you've done unto me. We need to really heed those words from God, because when we're taking the lives of children, and there's no emotional attachment, there's no second thoughts about it, we have an issue. We have an issue in this country. We have an issue with the people running this country. Me personally, I find it hard for a person to say that they are a Christian and they condone abortion. I really do. I struggle with that. I don't know about you. I'm sure you do if you are a follower of Jesus Christ like I am. But if a Christian comes and tells me that, it's okay to kill a child in the womb, I personally have to question that person's faith. I'm not God. God is the final judge, but I would question his faith or her faith.
You're right. I mean, I spoke to a school a month ago, probably a month and a half ago, and I'm not going to say what school. We were talking about this very issue, and one of the kids in the classroom said to me that her belief on when life starts is when you cut the umbilical cord, and anything before that is and she didn't say this part. However, this is what I interpreted: is that anything before that, before you cut the cord, is fair game, and that's where we see the partial abortion. We see the out of birth abortion, the fantasize. We see all these things that are going on, and the problem that. I mean, you nailed it. Now the administration is starting to come out on this. Now we've gotten the folks from the left that are coming out on this thing, and it is at the end of the day, when you are stopping a heartbeat, that's murder. If you're doing it intentionally to terminate that person, that human being, that is murder.
It is murder. Texas just passed their heartbeat bill. And right now it's in the court system, but it's still being enforced. Just recently, there's an atheist organization. I think it's a Church of Satan in Texas.
Oh my goodness.
They just went online and are encouraging people to continue their abortions because they feel that it is unconstitutional to stop abortions, because that's part of their sacrifice. They actually practice abortions in their sacrifices in their satanic temples. And so they're encouraging people to fight the heartbeat bill and to go ahead and continue having abortions, even if you have to do it in the back room somewhere. And that's how demoralized our country is today. That's how sick mankind is today. For me, we're living in the last days.
Yeah.
With the mentality and the thought process and the ideology that's being pushed upon this nation, and even some Christians are tone deaf to this. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty sad. Yeah. It's pretty sad because, children, again, God says they're heritage. They're heritage to him.
And a gift.
And a gift.
And a gift. I mean, we're going to get into some data, some facts here, because when we're talking about pro-life, I like to stick to facts and data because the left tries to prey on the emotions of people, and I think that is why they have gotten away with this horrendous act against human life. So first of all, the Supreme Court in 1973 ruled that Roe v. Wade gives a person a right to exercise or terminate or what have you, an abortion. However, people have interpreted that into law.
It's not a law.
That is not a law. So I want to make this clear to folks, and it's schoolhouse rock. The Supreme Court does not make law. Only branch in the government of the three parts of government that can make law is the Congress. Okay, Congress meaning the U.S. Congress and the United States Senate. The Supreme Court writes or has an opinion to the law that's being challenged. Now, Roe v. Wade did not change law in the United States that says abortions are legal. They have an opinion on that right for a person to have an abortion. So if you look in Arizona, the Arizona Constitution, 131108, it says clearly in the Arizona statute, that ARS, it clearly says that anyone who harms or kills an unborn is subject. That act is subject to fall up under the criminal code in Arizona, which relates to or points to manslaughter.
But the downfall to that is that it's not being enforced.
It's not being enforced.
It's not being enforced. There's a law on the book here in the state of Arizona, but people are so timid because of the backlash, because of the pro-life and abortion movement, that they're afraid to enforce these laws.
Well, I got beat up for it trying to do it.
Oh, yeah, you got really beat up for it.
I got slapped around. I got punched in the stomach,
Kicked in the head.
I mean, and you nailed it. You nailed it, Dave. We have these laws on the books, and then we know we have people we know that abortion is murder. We know it's murder. And what Dave was referring to, I wrote a bill last session that points to the existing law that I just stated. And I had so much backlash, not from the left, ladies and gentlemen, but from those people on the right that are scared to call this what it is, and it is murder. It's straight up murder. That's what it is. And I didn't write the law. The law's on the books, and I pointed to it, and folks just didn't like that. I mean, they went out of their minds on it.
Well, and that goes to both sides, both parties. Because I look at it this way, I'm running for office to replace Representative Waltman here. Walt Blackman. Hey, that's pretty cool, Waltman.
Did he just call me?
Hey, Waltman. But anyway, I'm running to replace his seat in the House in Arizona. But you look at it, both parties are guilty of this, and I believe it comes down to afraid to lose their position and power in the House, in the Senate, in Congress, whatever. They don't want to make waves because they might get voted out.
Yeah, and you're right. You're going to see that when you're down at the Arizona House, you will see people that will vote to save their seat. They'll say one thing on the campaign trail, then they'll do something else when they actually get in that position. When I was on the campaign trail, I made a commitment to work to try to end this senseless slaughter of unborn.
I remember.
Okay. Yeah, you were there, and that's. I mean, we need lawmakers like Dave that are going to they're not going to say one thing and then do something else. Because I know this pro-life deal is very big for you and me, of course, but it's, you're a pastor. You deal with some of this stuff, counseling people too, probably.
But you just said it. It should be big for all Christians.
Yeah, Christians. Notice
all Christians.
Notice he said Christians, not big for all Republicans, not independents, not conservatives. We know it's not big for Democrats, but for Christians.
Yes. Yes.
Doesn't the Ten Commandments say something about thou shalt not kill?
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, but then you're going to get some y'all who, what about war? You went to war. Come on, guy. Really? Come on.
Well, you think about it. He went to war to fight for the freedoms, allow you to spout your nonsense.
Exactly. Now, when we're talking the technicality of the pro-life movement, I am of the belief that life begins at conception. And the reason why I believe that life begins at conception is because 24 hours after the egg is fertilized, DNA starts to structure, or DNA is structured in that cell. And what that is a human DNA cell with its own distinct DNA. Now, at the end of 9 months, that DNA is not going to produce a chicken. It's not going to produce something that is not a human. So therefore, I believe, since the Democrats or the left always says we believe in the science has proven that 24 hours after conception, DNA is locked in that egg. So since that DNA is not going to turn into a chicken, it's going to turn into a human being, then that cell, that person, should fall under the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law, because that protects people's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But we are taking away those constitutional rights. And the court and the left are able to do this because they don't say it's a baby or it's a human. They say it is a fetus.
Yeah, they say it's a fetus, or it's just a clump of cells.
A clump of cells. Yeah.
You know what? I wish that these abortionists, our congressmen and our senators would take a look at a 4D ultrasound.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look at a 4D ultrasound. Because I'll tell you this, a nationwide study was just done this past summer, and 78% of abortion-minded women who viewed the 4D ultrasound ultimately chose life for their child.
Yeah.
78%. Yeah. Because they were actually able to see that little baby formed in their womb, not a clump of cells, but a baby that had a head, had arms, had fingers, had legs and toes. They were able to see it, and they fell in love with that child. Mm-hmm. I want to read something real quick from Psalms, in the book of Psalms. Psalm 139, verse 13 through 16. God says, For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. A child, God says, is fearfully and wonderfully made, knitted in the mother's womb. See, God was very intentional in every aspect of our individual creation. He has a plan. He has a purpose for every human life from conception. From conception.
Exactly. And, it's again, the statute clearly in Arizona says that taking a life falls under the criminal code. And they've even defined it as, I'm just going to say this, they defined it and they put in there unborn in Arizona. So with that, I mean, I know Texas they just came out with that legislation,
Yes.
To make it more difficult to be able to do this. However, Arizona, if you look at the Arizona statute, Arizona has the strictest law that prohibits this type of act. Why don't we use it? And like you said, why don't we use it? And that's questions I think we need to raise at the House. We need to raise to our lawmakers. But it, where else in the country are there these snippets and there are statutes that outlaw this type of behavior and categorize it as a criminal act? And I'm sure we could probably look through some of these statutes across the country, and we'll probably find something that is equal to or kind of matches up to this. It's heinous. It's just heinous to me. So.
Well, you look at it, some of the states across our country are trying to pass bills to abort at full term.
Yeah. New York does that, don't they?
Well, I don't know if they do it. I know that they're pushing the law. I don't know if it has passed, and it might have. I'm not certain. But you think about it. If you don't think that child in your womb is murder by taking its life, well, what about one that is born full term and then aborted?
Yeah.
If that's not murder, something's wrong with our country.
Yeah. And I mean that's a no-brainer right there.
Well, it should be.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it should be.
That if you're doing that, then you should be. But if you go to New York and you do that, you can do that. You can kill a baby, at full term. I wrote an article some time ago, and it's called the unspoken narrative of the black abortion rate in the black community. I'm not sure if you read that article. And what that does, that really points to the numbers of abortions that are happening in the black communities. And at the time that I wrote the article, it was up towards 1,300 black babies were aborted every single day. And I'm sure it's more now. There are more Planned Parenthoods in black communities. There are more per capita black females that have abortions between the period between 7, 8, and 9th month. That's at a higher rate. That is upwards to like 72% of abortions that happen in the black neighborhood happen in those late trimester months. Okay, and abortion, or this Planned Parenthood, was started by a Democrat, Margaret Singer,
yes,
whose goal was to stamp out the black or the Negro population and do it in a way in which they will not know. And you know who they sent into those communities to tell black folks about this? Someone they trust. And who do you think in black communities back in those days, who did they trust? They trusted their pastors.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's not saying pastors today do that, because I hope they don't. I know Dave certainly he would I don't know, gut chunk somebody if they came in his office
in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, in the name of Jesus. So, but that is how this all happened. And now we're, instead of at 18% of the population in the black population, we're at 13%.
Well, you brought up Margaret Singer. She is celebrated in the Smithsonian Institute.
Yeah.
And they also have pictures of her standing with crowds of, guess who?
The KKK, the Ku Klux Klan.
The Ku Klux Klan. She was party to the Ku Klux Klan. She's standing on crates speaking to all these men in their white outfits and white hoods. And again, I believe the goal of Margaret Singer was genocide of the black race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was all a plan. And we know, and I can tell you, this was, we've been, Malcolm X said, when he was alive, he had a speech about the American Negro, and he says, Plymouth Rock, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. We've been bamboozled, we've been run astray, we've been run amok. And this is exactly what I think that that applies to that speech, because when you're talking about the big lie about pro-choice and how it affects our community, and now it affects many communities.
It does.
The big lie is that it is okay to kill your child. It is okay to do that. We're going to lie to you. We're going to lie to you. We're going to put Planned Parenthood in schools, and we're going to lie to you. And that gives you an excuse to say it is okay to kill my child. And you know, the black population has been run amok. In 1977, January 1977, do you know who was pro-life? Who was a pillar in the black community?
1977?
Yeah. The Reverend Jesse Jackson. The Reverend Jesse Jackson in 1977 was a pro-life, and that was after Roe v. Wade, because he saw what was coming. Now I think he's pro-choice. I don't know. However, they started to change the leaders, and then it started to change in the communities. And now we are seeing it not just stay in black communities. This thing is like a disease. It's like a cancer, and it's not going to stop until we cut it out of our society.
Well, you know, it is, you're right. It's a disease, just like a cancer, but it's a cash cow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. It is. So, and I just want to make this clear to folks. I mean, pro-life, we should look at all aspects of the pro-life. We should look at all the demographics that it affects. The reason why I'm very interested and very determined to stop this murder and this slaughter and this heinous act in black communities, because it has caused a significant decrease in our population. And this is running rampant really quickly. Planned Parenthoods target minority neighborhoods. So 79% of Planned Parenthoods, excuse me, surgical abortion facilities, 79% of those are in black communities. The rest, 21%, are in other communities. 79%. And the procedures that they use, the surgical abortions of the 79%. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of the 79%, 21% of that are the surgical abortions.
Well, you know, well, you said something about the 60s, about pastors were part of the abortion movement. Right now, 2021, who is head or the president of the Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, it's a black lady, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
It is.
And why do you think that Planned Parenthood would make a black woman the poster child of Planned Parenthood?
Window dressing.
Window dressing.
It's like trying to diminish the horrendous act of abortion, because see, we're not really attacking the black community because we have a black leader.
Yeah, and let's look at the gender, a black woman.
Yeah.
Okay, they directly go after young black women. So you got a black woman in a prominent position. If you can call being the director of Planned Parenthood a prominent position, I call it a part of the mob. As the poster child of this, and saying to that young black woman, you know what, it's okay to have an abortion, because guess what? I'm the chairman or the director of Planned Parenthood.
I wouldn't mislead you.
And that's exactly what's happening. Let me read this right here. And it's quote, so consider this. If those 10 million children, if those 10 million children have not been aborted, we're talking black children, 10 million have been aborted, the voting power in the black community would now be at 16%. Nationally, we are at 13%. 13%. So 16% of that we would black communities would be the majority when we're talking voting. Why do you think the Democrats are killing us? Because they want us stuck on the Democrat plantation. They want to take our voting away, and they do this. What's the best way to do it? You kill the future.
Yeah.
you kill the future. I mean, yeah.
But that being said, too, I know the black community across this nation has had the biggest impact in aborted children. But you know what you're starting to see even more so? You're also starting to see not just the black community, you're starting to see Hispanic communities as well. You go down to Phoenix, Southwest Phoenix has 3 abortion clinics all within miles of each other in low-income neighborhoods.
Yes.
Why is that? You don't see them in Paradise Valley. You don't see them in Scottsdale.
Or Fountain Hills.
Yeah.
You don't see them there.
No, they are targeting low-income, impoverished families.
Yep.
But again, the black community, from the beginning with Margaret Singer, we have had the biggest impact of women aborting their children. And that was a plan from Margaret Singer from the beginning, and she is a celebrated figure. And again, I know that they were talking about taking her out of the Smithsonian Institute. I don't know if they have. I doubt it.
She should have never been in there.
No, that she should never been in there.
And
she's a murderer.
Yeah, I don't see Black Lives Matter tearing down her statue.
Oh no, of course not.
Yeah,
of course not.
I don't see them doing that.
No. No.
Yeah. They probably want to leave it in. That's Margaret Singer. She's I don't know. Do your research. Do your research. Okay. And now this thing has become such a problem that it is spread from the black community. Now we're going to see the liberal left push this into poor white communities.
Yes. And they are already.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor white communities that happen to be conservative. And why? Because it is your voice that they are trying to shut off. They've already done it to the black community. And if we look at overall, 55 million babies have been aborted since Roe v. Wade. Think about the consumer impact of that. The consumer impact of our country since 1973, 55 million lives have been shut off, killed, and how does that affect our economy?
Yeah,
think about it. And it's not all about money, but if we look at it that way, we're like, okay, we are killing our future. We are killing our survival. And now it has spread so much. Now it's in the mainstream. It's in mainstream America, and it's going to continue to get worse unless men like you, myself, and other prominent leaders that understand what this is and what this is doing speak up.
Well, I think it goes even a little deeper now. I think it falls back on the people of the districts.
Yeah.
If you're a congressman or if you're House representative, is a pro-abortion, you need to start asking questions.
Sure.
Why? Why are you okay with murdering children? Why are you okay with possibly taking funds from these organizations, these lobbyists?
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
And if they can't give you an answer, you know what? It's between you and God, but maybe you need to not vote for that person again.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should tell your neighbors not to vote for that person because this is that person's stance.
Exactly. And then we're running out of time here real quick, but when you have a candidate that's standing in front of you wanting your vote and you ask them, what's your position on pro-life? And they say, well, I'm for pro-life and life starts at conception and this and that. You need to recite that ARS statute that I recited and say, okay, since you are pro-life, what do you plan to do about the statute that's already on the books?
What is that statute?
That's 1108. Yeah, 1108, 131108. And
131108.
it falls under the criminal code. And you need to ask them that. Prove it to me that you are pro-life. Prove it. And then we will see who is really pro-life in our legislative body and who is not. Who is really pro-life in our congressional delegation and who is not. So that's the challenge that I give voters.
I want to close with this. In the book of Job, and if you're a Christian, you guys know the story of Job. Job says in Job 10, verse 11 and 12, he says, "You clothe me with skin and sinews, and knit me together with bones." Let me correct myself here. "You clothe me with skin and flesh, and knit me together with bones and sinews. You have granted me life and steadfast love." Listen to what Job is saying. He's saying, you, Lord, has knitted me together. You are the one that gave me skin. You gave me flesh. And you knitted my body together, and you granted me life. I'm going to tell you right now, God says that your children are a gift from him. And again, you think about this. Our children are on loan to us. They belong to the Lord. They don't belong to us.
Yep.
What we have done, we become basically their guardians for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
You are absolutely
He
right.
granted us these children. I have 4 great children. How many children do you have?
I have 5.
And I could never fathom not having my boys or my 2 granddaughters.
Yeah.
And I would have a hard time because they have brought so much joy to my life and to others around us. And we're telling that these kids are not worth life.
Wow.
Got an issue with that, and I believe right now God has an issue with that. And those who practice abortion or support abortion, you know, you're going to stand before God one day, and you're going to be given a full account. What are you going to have to say then?
Hey, everybody. That wraps us up for today. This is the America First Brothers, and this is an important subject. And we're going to have to come back and talk about this too, because this is so much in this. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. I would like for us to let's start talking about what's going on at the administration and how America is looking at us. I mean, not how the rest of the world is looking at us now.
What do you mean looking? They're laughing.
Laughing. Yeah, they're laughing at us. A great country. Let's talk about that on our next show. What do you say?
Let's do that.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. This is the America First Brothers. I'm Walt Blackman.
Dave Marshall. And don't forget to press that like button.
Oh, yeah, I missed it. Press that like button, and if you like it and subscribe, then guess what? We will go up in our numbers. And real quickly, we are back on the air. You know, we're both campaigning. You're a pastor. We're both parents. We're both very busy, so we're trying to work these in so it becomes more frequent, and then you can be able to comment on this. So from this day forward, we're gonna be doing that. We'll really work it in. So, but yeah, press that subscribe button and like the America First Brothers on YouTube or Facebook or what have you.
And share it with your friends.
Share it with your mama.
God bless you guys, and God bless America.